almost into thin air. And there was a time when you could count on strangers to help you find them quickly. An undercover operation to see what happened when children as young as 4 were left unattended. And as Gavin Alder reports, the results will horrify you.
6-year-olds Lachlan and Kate sitting alone, not a parent in sight, on the steps of the Brisbane casino as hundreds of people walk by. 4-year-old Jack at Manly in Sydney, upset and on his own, he may as well be invisible to people passing by. 6-year-old Abby and 8-year-old Geordie left to fend for themselves in a mall in Melbourne. Does anyone stop to help? With the case of missing 4-year-old Maddie McCann making world news, you'd think we'd all be on our guard when it comes to children, especially when they're so young and so vulnerable. As you're about to see in 3 busy cities with mothers as anxious spectators, we conducted a test on how much we really do care for kids. The results shocked us all.
Oh, now this will be interesting. Stealing out to mummy. Does anyone take notice?
With their mums watching on from a distance and a security guard keeping a closer watch, Jack and Cooper were free to roam around Manly Corso for more than 2 hours. There were good times, and there were times when they clearly looked distressed. And incredibly, in all that time, just one woman out of the hundreds that passed by asked if they were okay.
A bit scary, really, that no one's really interested.
In busy, blustery Melbourne, Abby and Geordie are lucky not to be blown off their seat. As she watches on, their mum Tracy is more blown away that even when someone gives her little girls a second glance, they fail to stop. Until finally, after an hour and a half, this woman restores some faith.
Thank you so much. It's been quite emotional to watch and see no one has stopped for the kids.
Yeah, I find that really incredible. I mean, they looked lost.
And again, at a bus stop with the rain falling and wind howling, no one was bothered enough to ask the girls where their parents were. In the bustling Brisbane Mall, it got even worse. First, 6-year-old Lachlan was left alone and sat and sat and sat as people rushed past, almost brushed past. No one took the time to ask him if he was okay. His mum, Kim, was stunned.
I'm disappointed, probably, in how it's worked. I would have thought that one person might have stopped to see him or ask him if he was okay, but not one person.
Even little Lachlan is grown up enough to know that wasn't right.
I was sitting on the seat and no one came and asked me if I was all right.
Incredibly, a police officer quizzed our sound operator about what he was doing, but failed to notice Lachlan sitting alone just metres away. And when Kate and her 3-year-old sister Amy took the bench test, things became even more bizarre. There's a police officer.
Have a look at that. Oh, unbelievable. You would think he of all people would have stopped.
He's just walked straight past. Another man sits right next to them, but ignores them. And so does everyone else passing by, until this woman. It was a welcome relief for Mum Jane.
You were the only one that stopped. Nobody else at all stopped in the whole time they sat there. It's frightening.
It is an indictment on our society, it really is.
But it comes as no surprise to social commentator Karen Brooks from the University of the Sunshine Coast.
If we go and approach a child, we're scared we're going to be thought a pedophile or a predator at the very least. So and we're very litigious these days. So we start to think, what will people think of me, rather than putting the child first.
That was clearly on display on the steps of the Brisbane casino. For 45 minutes, Lachlan and Kate sat there, passed by hundreds of people, some almost walking over the top of them to get inside. Some must have noticed. Someone may have even mentioned 2 abandoned children to this security guard. But nothing was done, until this gentleman took the time to ask if they were okay.
I thought they shouldn't be there on the steps of the casino.
Yeah. Well, you were the only one. A lot of people were just walking straight past, into the casino, out of the casino.
People just don't want to get involved. That's the truth of the matter.
Lawyer Damien Scatini doesn't buy the theory that people are worried about being sued. And if they are, he says, they shouldn't be. There's not one case of a Good Samaritan being sued for trying to help.
If you see a child in distress, as a decent human being, you not only have the right, but you have the obligation to go and assist that child.
Stranger danger is the term under which we operate, whereas that's not the case. Strangers don't always pose a danger.
Whatever the reasons, fear of legal action, or that an angry parent might tell us to mind our own business, or simply being too busy to notice. This has been a wake-up call for these mums.
It just shows that you have to have your eyes on your children all the time.
If a child was distressed, I'd have absolutely no qualms of going up to that child and making sure that they were okay and safe, and to find their parent or carer.
If you see children on their own and it seems apparent that their parent's not around, it only takes a second to go and see, are they okay?
Well, that really was shocking.